Tailgate Topics and Tips. I'm Spencer McDonald. In this episode of Tailgate Topics and Tips, we're going to talk about speed. You know, everyone speeds from time to time. We all find ourselves a little over the limit for one reason or another. But why do you speed? What's your excuse? Perhaps you just think that the speed limits are all too slow. Or maybe you just like to go with the flow and everybody else is speeding, so you do too. Do you speed because you know very well the police probably won't ticket you until you're 10 kilometers or 5 miles an hour or so over the limit? Maybe you're just in a hurry all the time and you feel like you have to speed. Maybe you don't like being passed, so you like to keep your speed higher than everybody else. There's lots of excuses or justifications for speeding. But what are the consequences? The faster you go, the less time you have to react to what's going on around you in traffic. When you're speeding, you use much more fuel than you would at lower speeds. And you know, eventually, if you speed all the time, you will find that you get a ticket. And in the event of a crash, if you're speeding, the damage increases exponentially with your speed. Just 5 kilometers an hour or 3 miles per hour can make a huge difference, as this fabulous public service announcement out of Australia shows us. Let's watch.
What you're about to see will change your mind about speeding. Two identical cars, one travelling at 60, the other at 65. A sudden change in the road ahead, and both drivers first react, and then, a moment later, they brake. And things start to get interesting. Down here, the difference is extraordinary. In the last 5 metres of braking, you wipe off half your speed. So this car is still doing 32 k's when it hits. This one also hits, but only at 5 k's. So no matter how good a driver you are, 5 k's difference up there makes 27 k's difference down here.
Everyone has excuses for speeding, so let's talk about some tailgate tips and some suggestions about speed. If you keep your speed down, you're going to save money on fuel and on brakes and on vehicle wear and tear. It's a guaranteed way to never get a speeding ticket. If you're used to driving the speed limit normally and you feel like going a little bit faster because you're rushed, then you go a little bit faster. But if you're always speeding, that begins to feel normal. And when you're feeling rushed, you'll find yourself going much, much faster, and that's just not safe. You know, in truth, driving a little bit over the speed limit all the time really doesn't save you any time. You have to go much, much faster than the limit to really save much time at all, and that's just too risky to chance. So here's your practical challenge. Can you drive the speed limit? I challenge you to drive the speed limit for the next week, or target the speed limit. When you find yourself over, begin to bring the speed back down, or at least ask yourself, why am I speeding? What's the reason for this? And don't look for excuses. See if there's a good reason for going over the limit, and if there isn't, let's bring the speed down to the limit and start targeting the speed limit. You know something, it's going to feel super slow at first. But if you practice this for a while, eventually the speed limit begins to feel just fine. Then when you're in a big hurry and you feel like you just have to go a little faster, then you'll feel like you're making good time, even though you may be just driving at the rate that you would have otherwise driven normally. So that's this Tailgate Topics and Tips on speed. Thanks for watching. I'm Spencer McDonald reminding you, it's all about attitude.